Hello, I'm Peter Towers, Managing Director of ESS Small Business and ESS BIZTOOLS. Welcome to this video to accompany Empowering SMEs. We've just produced the second installment of our special series on COVID-19 survival panels for small medium enterprises. Thanks for joining us on this ongoing examination of the challenges facing small businesses and medium-sized enterprises all over Australia. Each week we're going to bring to you a commentary featuring two very experienced business people to give you some ideas and assistance and hopefully some motivation and encouragement in your business endeavours. The first item I want to talk to you today about is that the Taxation Office has released the basis for the calculations of the drop in turnover from 2019 to 2020. But in particular, they've released this week the alternative decline tests that the Commissioner is going to utilise, and they're worth looking at. There are 7 tests, and the Commissioner's made it pretty clear that they're the only ones that he's going to use. If your business doesn't fall into one of those, you're not going to be able to argue any alternative position. They're fairly widespread, what he's included. And they include business commenced post 2019. There's been a business acquisition or a disposal that's changed the figures a bit. There's been a business restructure that has changed the entity's turnover. There's been a substantial increase in turnover, which can cause some disruption. The business has been affected by drought or a natural disaster, and obviously we've had a fair bit of that around Australia, but in particular there was some very bad flooding in North Queensland and Northwest Queensland in January, February, March of 2019, which really affected turnovers. The business has got irregular turnover, which is obviously known to the tax office. And the business is operated by a sole trader or a small partnership. And there was periods of time when the business operator was not available, either through illness, accident, or on leave, and it makes it very difficult to utilise the comparisons. Now, they're the 7 tests that the tax office are going to use. If you want more details, we have included some more details in the explanatory item that's available for you. When you click on to access Empowering SMEs, you can get a copy of Want to Know More, and it has a bit more details. If you need more details than that, please consult your accountant, or you could send us an email and we will send them to you, because the tax office has supplied a step-by-step process for the calculations. The other announcement that may have been made earlier, but to be honest, I hadn't picked it up, is that the JobKeeper system is also going to have some application to business operators who are not being paid a salary by their businesses. So this relates to sole traders. A sole trader, as long as the business has suffered the 30% drop in turnover, comparing a month or a 3-month period in 2019, and that's basically March or April 2019 with the March, April 2020, or the months of April, May, June, and that will be forecast, of course, 2019 with April, May, June forecast in 2020. If that business complies and a sole trader business has dropped by 30%, they will be able, or that sole trader will be able to apply for the JobKeeper payment. A partner in a partnership can apply, but only one partner in the partnership, so you might have to toss coins to see who's going to get the benefit of the JobKeeper payment. A beneficiary in a trust, again only one, is able to claim the JobKeeper payment, and a director of a company is also able to claim the JobKeeper payment. The qualification that the tax office is making is that the person, the partner, the director, the beneficiary, has to be actively engaged in the business, or for a director, actively engaged in the company. So that's an interesting development that's occurred. There seems to be some confusion about the JobKeeper process. The system started from the employees employed from Monday, 30 March, and the tax office originally was saying that you had to have registered by the end of April to receive a payment in the first week of May. Now that's now been clarified. In fact, as long as the business has paid at least $1,500 per fortnight from the 30th of March to the end of April, or the last pay period in April, you have got until the end of May to actually register that business with the Australian Taxation Office to receive the JobKeeper payment. But you obviously won't be receiving your payment in the first week of May because you haven't registered. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. That's an overview of what has been happening. The activities we produced last week in our first webinar on the problems affecting businesses because of COVID-19. We had keynote speakers Paul Barnaby, who spoke about you need to know where your cash is going. He identified that predictive accounting, which he's an expert in, is really projecting what the business is going to look like in the future. Not really worrying about the past, but saying if we do this and we do that and we have this sort of team put together, what's our business going to look like in 1, 2, 3 years' time? And Paul also indicated there's never been a better time to make sure that you've got budgets and cash flow forecasts and predictions of your balance sheet for your business. The other keynote speaker was Jordan Lowry, who indicated that your team is your most valuable asset and suggested that every business operator needs to be very conscious of whether the right culture is being displayed within your business. And in this challenging time when a lot of people are working from home, it's very important that there's ongoing communication being undertaken with those people so they still feel part of the team. Our next webinar presentation on this whole theme, COVID-19 survival for small businesses and medium-sized enterprises, is on Wednesday, the 29th of April at 12 noon AEST. We have two presenters again, our keynote speakers who are affiliates of ESS Small Business and ESS BIZTOOls. They are Priscilla B. Smith, who is an accountant who offers training courses for bookkeepers. So if any of your firms would like to improve the standard of your bookkeeping talent working for you, here is an opportunity of listening to what Priscilla's got to say, and perhaps you might like to contact her to talk about having some of your team members trained so that you have your team at your peak performance level to roar back into action as we hopefully pass out of this virus in a few months' time, but most definitely by the end of September. And our other speaker on the 29th of April is Jeff Goodrich. Jeff's a businessman from Darwin who is also the ambassador at large for a very large employer organisation in the Northern Territory called Territory Proud. Jeff's a great promoter and he works very diligently with a whole range of businesses. Some of them that he's not actively involved in as a shareholder or director, but trying to assist them to improve their performance in the business place. And I think you'll find Jeff's comments quite interesting because he's an experienced business operator. but he's also very experienced at being able to put together schemes with other people, bring teams together, and also has done a lot of work in conjunction with governments, both the Northern Territory Government, Western Australian Government, Queensland Government, and the Australian Government. So I think you'll find Jeff's comments very interesting, especially as we start looking forward to what can we do in businesses to make everything perform very good from the time this crisis is over, and even in the interim period. I was participating in a presentation for accountants earlier today, and Paul Barnaby was speaking there as the keynote speaker, and he indicated that he had been contacted by a news agency business that it's having its best period ever. So some businesses are doing very well out of this problem. They're selling magazines, books, games, board games, and there's a lot of gambling going on apparently with lotto and other gambling activities. So if that's your business and it's going well, that's great. For the others who might not be going as well, now is the time to be laying the plans, your budgets, your cash flows, your business plan, looking at your team, doing some training so that when this crisis ends, and it will end, you'll be ready to roar back into action. Don't forget to register for next week's webinar on the 29th of April. Please go to our website, www.esssmallbusiness.com.au. Keep safe and have a great day. Goodbye.